Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are now listening to That Infernal Noise podcast, part of the Mental Health News Radio Network. Fuck yeah.
We're the responsible people.
Right.
And that's repeated itself time and time again in every possible situation.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to our parents. Well, moms. Can't say parents because...
You have to know both parents to say parents.
That's my point.
It's,
like I had to parent my mom to get her to take care of herself. And it's still...
And I had to parent my mother because she needed a fucking parent.
And it still feels like we're doing that same shit where we have to be the responsible ones. We can't drop the ball at all.
It's a lot of pressure.
And to our credit, we very seldom do.
Yeah. And then...
Like, whenever it comes to shit getting taken care of, shit gets taken care of. Whenever we've dropped the ball, it's been the day-to-day shit that we just can't keep up with, and we end up fucking up the kids because of it.
Yeah.
As unfortunate as that is to say, but that's what ended up giving.
Yeah. Because I've tried... I mean, I haven't... Like, from the shit that I've had to do, it's... I haven't made them... Or I haven't made all of the appointments. I haven't made all of the types of appointments that I have on a yearly basis. And I feel like I dropped the ball in that area.
Yeah, but they're still healthy. They're still fine. It's not...
Yeah.
It's not like we're shirking it.
Yeah, that's very fair. But it's like...
I just meant as far as the day-to-day discipline and how we reacted to shit previously.
Yeah. But even... like, taking a step back and really looking at how much goes into being the day-to-day parent, it's exhausting just talking about it. Because, like I said, both of us work 8 hours. I mean, granted, it hasn't always been that way, but... So, when I was...
Yeah, and a lot less shit got missed whenever it wasn't that way. We should be able to work our 8-hour jobs and still be able to handle everything else. But we can't because we don't have a proper support system.
Right. Fun stuff. It's... I've said that, like, and we've made jokes about this, like, we need to win the lottery and not to have money, not to be rich or have...
It is to fucking have money.
Well, okay, it is to have money.
Because I'm fucking disappearing from goddamn everybody.
That's fair.
I am taking the fuck off.
Fair.
And I'm going to live wherever the fuck... I'm not even going to say where because I don't want anybody to fucking find me.
Fair. The only place that would know is the J.O.B. And that's because...
And then I'd be doing that for fun.
Yeah.
So there's no pressure whatsoever.
Yeah.
So even the little bit of stress that I have with work right now, which is minuscule comparatively, thank God.
Yes. Oh, I'm so happy for you, by the way, that it seems to be a fraction of what you were doing before.
It's the perfect fucking fit. And that's why I say sometimes getting fired is the best thing to fucking happen to somebody.
Yeah. It did. Well, it's, well, not only getting fired, but when I quit, I chose myself. And now I have the perfect fit for a job now. And then all of the stuff.
I wouldn't quit. It was too much money. I'm not joking. That is literally the only reason I stayed as long as I did.
That's fair.
Well, that and Ray, but outside of that, I'd have told them all to go fuck themselves a long fucking time ago.
Oh, yeah.
It was working with children. Children with money and narcissism.
Oof.
And I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Almost immediately.
But
I had to deal with it because that's what I was supposed to do. And then somehow I was the problem. Okay, maybe my attitude was at times, but...
Okay, people only have so much. Even nice people have limits. Even doormats. I've labeled myself as a doormat for the vast majority of my life, and you look at it, I was. Not anymore, but I was.
And see, I thought I was... Like, I let people take advantage of me for sure. But I don't think I'd ever call myself a doormat.
Oh,
because
I was.
Whenever it came down to get it cracking, I was the motherfucker to stand up and be like, I'm about to fuck you up.
Right.
And some people I did.
But there's some... When it comes to certain people and their role in my life, there was a blind loyalty. So it was, they get to treat me however they want.
That goes into what you were wanting to talk about. Our moms did us no favors.
No.
Because that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was blind fucking loyalty. You listen to me. You do what I say because I said it without anything.
And I don't know if this is across the board for all single parents, but...
Mine wasn't fucking single. Ever.
That's fair. But there was an expectation of blind loyalty because how dare I?
Well, I'm your mom.
Yeah. How could you?
And so many people have that fucking mindset. And it's irritating as all fuck.
It's my way.
Well, it's your mom. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck who it is. If people treat you like shit, you are well within your right to tell them to go fuck themselves.
Because I'm not a possession. And that's how a lot of...
narcissistic parents look at it.
Yeah. I mean...
And I don't like calling my mom a narcissist necessarily because I feel like that's a bit extreme.
Yeah.
She just didn't know any better, and she never got the chance to know better because she didn't have anybody to teach her. And until her son got old enough to wise the fuck up and be like, yo, this shit ain't fucking right.
Yeah. And I don't think that mom was a narcissist in... There's tendencies or traits. But I don't think
But it was also very even-handed because she was also the type of person to give you the shirt off her back type shit.
Right.
And you saw that time and time again. And you saw how it worked out in certain situations.
That's very fair.
And then it made me realize where the fuck I got it from.
That's fair. And that's the thing. That's what... That's one of the things I don't get about my mother.
How she was so narcissistic, but then she also acted like she was so altruistic and taking care of everybody and all that shit.
Yeah.
She's balancing the ledger. That's how I look at it. With your mom specifically. And
maybe that is it. That wouldn't...
Because she would point to, well, I do all of this.
Yeah.
So it negates everything else, and that's why I say that. Like, just studying psychology as much as I have, that's what it sounds like to me.
And she may have and I'm not saying that she doesn't want to help people ever, and I'm not saying that. But
why? Why? Subconsciously, why does she want to help people? That's the thing. Because is it I've done bad in my life and I want to make up for it, or is it because out of the goodness of your heart? Those are two starkly different things. And that's what we don't know.
And the thing is that I think two things can be true in this instance because of her upbringing and everything that she went through, because she went through shit too. And I'm not saying that her trauma...
But why take care of strangers whenever you could take care of your daughter correctly? Why put so much effort into people that abused your daughter and ignore your daughter and tell her that she's wrong whenever she's trying to stand up for herself, even though that's all you've ever done.
Yes. Yes.
Like, you did the exact same things that she did whenever you were growing up, as far as trying to protect our kids and yada, 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 and you're the bad person for that.
Yeah.
That's fucking retarded.
You want to know what I find hilarious? Is that she took me away from so many people. And the vast majority of them, fine, cool. Like, especially her side of the family. Well, I say her side of the family because, like there's a father side. There isn't. But there were other people, other families besides hers that I got taken away from. And the vast majority of it, fine. But I find it hilarious that I've only had to do that in my life. I've only had to cut out because of shit like that.
That's not true. You have to think about how many people we've cut out of our fucking lives for no reason.
That's fair. But for the main point of I need to shield the kids. And this can, well, no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not looking at it as the same thing. It is the same thing.
It is.
Because it's toxic motherfuckers that see nothing wrong with crazy shit going on and that want to live in the fucking chaos. And that has happened time and time and time again from people that we were closest to.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it because even... And I struggle with this one because I'm the eldest. But even with my brother, it's like... The shit you've done, like, that shit's not cute. And there's certain things I will give grace to because of the
youthful
age.
Indiscretion.
Yeah.
That's
like
doing dumb shit as a kid, quote unquote.
Yeah. Yeah. But then I thought about it, and I didn't know about this until after the visit. The visit where I took the kids over and he was there. And then we didn't, I love our kids. Cause they hear things or something happens and then they're like, I don't like that. And then
yeah, because we raised them to see through bullshit.
Yeah. Because then
they have that spidey sense where it's just like, this ain't.
Yeah. Because even my brother, who had to be, let's see, he was in his 20s. I don't remember how long ago that was. Maybe about 5 years ago. Let's see, it's been
way
3.
Longer than that.
It's only been
that?
Mm-hmm. Because it's only been 3 years since I cut ties completely.
I'm not arguing that, but I'm talking about the specific instance that you're talking about, that we were still in Seagoville.
No, we were here. It was when I went to go visit. One of the times that he just happened to be in town instead of in California, and he was staying with mother. And Chris was in high school.
I don't think he was. Mm-hmm. I really don't think he was. And I remember him being in middle school. Well, okay, then we would have been here regardless, but...
Yeah. And because he was... Apparently, my brother was saying something about, when Chris turned 18, he was gonna, show him how to live, And then, and Chris told me afterwards, and we talked about it afterwards.
Yeah, that pissed me smooth the fuck off, too.
That he was trying to get him to,
smoke weed behind your back.
No. It was lean.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah. To a minor.
And a young minor.
A young minor. I don't even
if
think
he was in high school.
I don't even think
he was a freshman or sophomore.
Yeah, it was, and he's 20 now. So this happened within the past 5 years. So yeah, and it's like, on top of,
can you imagine if Sis did that? You know what I mean? Can you imagine if Aaron did that?
no, I don't.
Because they have common fucking sense.
Yeah.
Sis is the same age.
Yeah.
Like, and she'd be like, are you fucking nuts?
Yeah. Because even if she was someone to do
even
that,
when she was a fucking party girl, she would never.
She would have never been like, hey.
responsible. She was like, hey, no, that's not fucking cool.
I'll do it, but you're not going to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's how she was.
Yeah.
And now it's completely fucking changed because she's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
But, well, not, you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's just, it boggles my mind how doing the right thing, having integrity, or growing and changing is looked at as a bad thing.
Because then you're uppity.
So, yeah.
You're uppity. Oh, you're too good now. You forgot where you came from. All of that dumb shit I've heard in the course of my life. I was like, I'm fucking over it. I remember where I came from. That's why I don't want to fucking be there.
Yes.
Like, it's not complicated. I have seen the shit that I've gone through destroy people in my bloodline.
Yeah.
And I'm not having that perpetuate.
No.
I'm just not doing it.
That, and I don't want to spend the rest.
I've seen it fucking kill my friends.
Yes.
Literally kill my friends.
Yes.
Because of hubris, because of pride, because of
whatever
the fuck.
Yeah.
They think that they can't deal with shit. So here, let me do the shit that I used to do whenever I was a fucking kid.
Yeah.
And then dead.
Yeah. And that's what I don't get. Why would you want to stay emotionally immature? Why would you want to forever handle situations in a way where
because you don't have elders correcting you. People like us are few and far between because we had no examples to point to. None.
Correct.
And the examples we thought we had, once we got older and realized, like, no, you're fucking sketch.
As fuck.
Like, you don't know shit about shit whenever it comes to your asshole in a hole in the ground. Nothing.
Yeah. And the thing is that no one has their shit together.
Nobody does, but you should be trying to be better. You should be trying to work your ass off so your kids don't have to go through the same bullshit that you went through.
You would think.
And with both of us, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Except we got it, I would argue, a little bit worse. Because not only did you go through it as a person talking about our parents, you forced your child to go through the same thing. You had the knowledge of what that felt like, and you still chose to fucking do it. We had that knowledge, and we said, fuck that. Yeah. It's not fucking happening. We have kept them away from anybody that could possibly be sketchy.
Right.
We didn't take the fucking chance.
Oh, yeah, no.
In so many different ways. Like, people that I loved and I cared about, I didn't have around my kids. Because I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with having to mitigate the damage and be like, well, you know your uncle.
Yeah, that whole...
I'm not fucking doing that.
Oh, well, you need to put some sweats on, or you need to go put a T-shirt on.
Can you imagine if we've had to say that to Kaylee? I'd have been pissed. And the one time anything ever made her feel uncomfortable, we deuced the fuck out.
That night.
And it wasn't even anything that was directed at her.
Towards her.
Because if it had, there'd have been a completely different fucking argument. There'd have been bail money involved. Because I'd have fucked him up.
Oh, yeah. And that's... And while... it's easy for people to just stick their head in the sand and be like, oh, well, they didn't do that to me.
That's just the way they are. They were just playing. They were just joking.
Nope.
Fuck that.
I spent my childhood being forced to be uncomfortable. I mean, hell, I have to stop myself sometimes because I'm going to say her name. But my mother was part of the reason I felt uncomfortable. And I will not. And I was very adamant about that specific situation where it was like, and I said it out loud. I was forced, people our age were just forced to be around people who made us uncomfortable.
And kids know. Kids get that fucking spidey sense. We as adults are jaded, so we are automatically mistrusting damn near everybody, so we have to kind of get past it.
And I was very much, I'm not going to force my kids to be around somebody who makes them uncomfortable. And I will
now,
not.
Because we've done that, our spidey sense kicked back up, and we're like, oh, yeah, no. This ain't chilling.
This ain't that. Because...
And that's why we have no circle anymore.
Yeah, I just...
It's lonely as fuck, but...
It is.
I'm not dealing with chaos anymore.
I'm not sacrificing the peace that we have now for friends.
To make everybody feel better or what the fuck ever. Like, oh, just suck it up. I'm tired of sucking it the fuck up.
No.
I'm just not doing it anymore. I don't care. I don't give a fuck about anybody's feelings. I don't give a fuck about, oh, well, I just wanted to be the way it was. I don't. I don't because I realize what it was now. Yeah. And what it was is me looking the other way and just kind of, oh, yeah, well, it's fine. That's just whatever.
Sticking our head in the sand and because it wasn't directed towards us. Yeah, no.
No, it was directed towards us at times.
Fair.
And we still allowed it because we didn't have self-worth. And now that we got self-worth, we're fucking uppity. We're switching up. We changed. We did this. We did that. And it's just like, fuck it. Whatever, dude. Fine. I switched up. I'm uppity. I'm uppity because I want better. It's like, how about you guys, I don't know, step your shit up and get on my level? And I know how egotistical that sounds, but that's how I look at it now.
But that's everybody who...
Everybody wants people to lower to their level. And I don't want that. I want to raise my level so high that people have to catch up to me. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And I want to help them
do that. Yes. And that's the thing is that people are going to hear that and be like, oh, get up to his level. Like he's on some higher... The thing is that you're not saying that. I don't say things like that.
But that's what it's looked at. I'm
to be
an
like,
egotist.
oh,
I'm a narcissist. I'm
look
this,
at me.
I'm that.
Look at me. I'm here. Come up here where I am. It's like, no.
Why shouldn't you think that? Why shouldn't you think you're on a level above everybody else? Because if you don't, you're just going to keep perpetuating the same bullshit.
That's fair, but when people... You're not meaning it in a I'm better than you, a superiority thing. No. It's a... Hey, once you do the healing, it's lighter up here. It is calmer up here. It is...
I grew up in the fucking 90s hip-hop culture. That's what I grew up in.
Yeah.
If you're not thinking you're the best, what the fuck are you doing it for? If you don't think that everybody needs to get on your level, what the fuck are you doing it for?
Fair. That's fair and true and valid.
I think the same thing goes for comedy, for wrestling, for anything. Authors. Like, all of that shit. You have to think you're the fucking shit because nobody else is going to if you don't.
Fair and valid.
And even if you do, there's no guarantee other people are going to think it. Because I'm more confident in myself than I have been pretty much ever in my fucking life at 40, which is... a bitch in and of itself. But I don't care if anybody believes in me anymore. That's what I was worried about for the longest fucking time is like, oh, if I do this, then people are going to look at me this way and da-da-da-da-da. Fuck that. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
And if I do this, then people are going to look at me this way and da 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 da. Fuck that. Fuck it. I have the Death Star behind my head right now, and I've never been fucking happier. Like, I don't care anymore. I do not give a Frenchman's fuck on a Friday if anybody has a negative opinion of me. Because if you have a negative opinion of me, 9 times out of 10, it's because you're fucked up, not me.
Yeah.
And there are certain people on this planet that have a negative opinion of me that deserve to have a negative opinion of me.
Yeah.
But that is a handful.
Yeah.
A handful. I'm always the expendable one. And that's fine. It used to fucking tear me up inside. Now, fuck it. Cool. You left me. That's fine. We'll keep that narrative. You're the one that decided, right? Okay.
Okay. Life is too short. We're here for an insignificant amount of time.
In the grand scheme.
We're here for...
It's totality for us, so... But in the grand scheme of things, it's a blip.
Yeah, it's a blip. We're here for a blip. And we're still going to struggle with people's opinions of us because even if they're good opinions, it's none of my business because our value and what we think of ourselves.
I can't get a big head about it. People have one person at least has a good opinion of me, and I would have never thought that.
You mean outside of me?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And I was just like, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But I can't take that in either.
Right, because
if I take one in, I have to take the other in. That's just the way I work. So, yeah, cool. I'm glad you have that opinion.
Yes.
But I can't take that with me any more than I could take, well, you're a piece of shit because da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and that's where I was going with that. It's you have to acknowledge both. Oh, you said that. Oh, you have that opinion. Okay, cool. Okay, sorry you have that opinion of me. Cool.
I'm thankful you have that opinion of me.
Thank you
cool.
for having that opinion of me. But letting it affect how you see yourself.
You can't do it.
You can't do it.
And I've put so much stock in that in the entirety of my life. Where if somebody had a negative opinion of me, I had to change it.
Same.
If somebody had a positive opinion of me, I had to keep up with it. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I can't. I'm just going to be myself from now on, and the people that want to be around will be around, and the others will weed themselves out. That's just the way it fucking is.
Yeah, which is fine.
And again, you've seen that time and time again.
Yeah, because this may be a lonely road, but I'm all right with being lonely.
I've been lonely my whole life whenever I was surrounded by fucking people. What difference does it make if I'm actually content now and I'm lonely?
Right. Because
at least then I have the content part, not the chaos outside of it.
And loneliness.
Like that's dumb. It's dumb as fuck. And I just the longer I've been sober, the more I realize, fuck, I wasted all of that fucking time.
Because it's more I could do bad all by myself kind of thing.
The thing is, I can't. I do bad because that's gonna sound fucked up. I do bad because of other people, because other people get in my head. Me, in general, I don't. And I know that sounds how it sounds, but I get gassed up. And then I start leaning into it.
That's fair.
Ultimately, it is my choices, obviously. But
well, yeah.
Like, I realize that I get gassed up. People get in my fucking head, and then it's just like, okay, cool. And then you fucking run with it because you're a fucking idiot.
Luckily, I think you've aged out of that for the most part.
I hope I've aged out of it completely. I'm fucking done with that shit.
And I only say for the most part because we live a very... I don't want to call it boring because even very tame life. It
depends on how you look at it. Because some people would look at certain aspects of our life and not agree with that statement.
Oh, well. They would call it boring?
They'd be like, dude, like you're calling that tame?
Oh, that part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. I just mean, I don't mean that part.
You have to look at the totality of it.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, so our normal day-to-day is very tame. So, train of thought derailed. Great.
That we're boring. People's perception of it, whatever.
But I would much rather have the tame life.
What's wrong with calm?
I don't know. I don't understand.
So many people we've been around are just like, oh, I want everything to be chill. And then you really look at it objectively and like, no, the fuck you don't. You think you want chill. I mean, I've even said you were guilty of that over the years where you made peace with it. And you just accepted that. I was like, no, it doesn't have to fucking be this way. You don't have to live in that constant pain.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I know fucking pot calling the kettle on that shit, but
we're all guilty.
I try to let go of it as much as fucking possible and not live in it. And even when it is affecting me, I don't, for the most part, let it hinder me anymore. I still get up and do the things. I still, like, I'm not laying in bed like I want to.
Right.
On those days, I'm getting up. I'm still doing my normal routine, and then usually by lunch, I'm fine.
Yeah. And sorry, the train just circled back. I was getting at the fact that, you know, it may be a lonely road, but you have to find the people that are cool with being on a lonely road. Like, you and I have each other, and I'm cool with that. We have Sis and Aaron that we hang out with occasionally. I'm super cool with that. Love spending time with them, hanging out with them. And I have one other friend. I'm okay with that. And by proxy, she says you're her BFF-in-law. So I'm okay with that. And I was talking to my therapist, and there are certain things I was talking to her about it, and she was like, are you okay with me, you, and Robert being the only ones who know the actual truth? And I'm transferring that into life.
Does it matter what anybody else thinks?
Does it matter what anybody else thinks? If someone is ready to perceive you that way,
then perceive away.
Yeah.
Because your perception is reality, and there's nothing that I'm going to do that's going to dissuade you from that regardless, because you've already made your mind up.
Right. Because any evidence or fact or anything like that, it's going to be looked
regardless
at as,
of how much I've changed.
It's
like,
going to be,
I get that from all sides,
and it's
where
gonna be,
people expect me to react a certain way to things, and it's just like, I'm not reacting like that. Why are you acting like I'm reacting that way?
Right. And it would just, even if you presented fact in a calm fashion, it would be looked at as
and
like
there
shit talking.
Are
or
some people that will take pause at least and be like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But then I'm not getting into it.
Yeah. But I saw something, and I told you about it. I don't remember what platform I saw it on. But it was, that's within my comfort. I'm comfortable with that. And now, I think, now that I'm almost 40, I think that it's very much going to be that. It's going to be, think what you want to think. I
know I'm trying to live my best life, and if that doesn't chill with you, then that's on
that's
you,
fine.
not me.
I don't know how many times we've said this on here. Just fucking own it. Own whatever you want your life to be. And if it is that you want to be what you are right now, fine.
But see, that's the thing. I've never been content just stagnating. I want to get better every single fucking day. And I've told you that. I don't know how many times.
And that's fine.
I don't want to be in the same place now as a year from now. I want things to be progressing. And I've actively worked at that.
Yes, you have. But my thing is that how we handle situations where it is made evident where someone else doesn't want that change. It's like a catch and release program.
Before, we would keep pushing and pushing and pushing because that's what we thought we were supposed to do, because that's how we were trained. Now it's like, I didn't realize you felt like that, or you felt like that. Cool. My bad. And that's it. I'm not pushing. I'm not putting all of that effort and energy into it. If 1, you don't want it, 2, it's not being received, and 3, I'm just going to be looked at as an asshole for it. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll give you plenty of other reasons why I'm an asshole. That's not going to be one of them anymore.
Right.
So, and it's exhausting to keep up with, because it's just
really
like,
is.
What does anybody actually want? Because I want people that'll stand up for their shit and tell me whenever I'm fucking up.
Yeah.
And I vehemently mean that. The only reason I straightened my life up was because you did exactly that.
Yeah, it was a struggle because I came from doormat material.
But I pushed so hard that it forced you to stand up for yourself. And that wasn't my intention. I was just being myself and fucking shit up left and right.
And that's what, I think I made that,
And then I got mad because you stood up for yourself, even though that's all I've been trying to get you to do since we met. Not even got together, since we met. Yeah. I've been trying to get you to stand up for yourself and put your foot down and not let people take advantage of you. And then I would do it, and then I get pissed off that you stood up for yourself. I was like, well,
pick a lane.
But then I finally realized it. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, I have to allow this to happen, because if I don't, then I'm reinforcing that she should be a doormat. And if
stay silent.
She's a doormat with me, that means she's going to be a doormat with everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't want that.
And then that shows our kids that they can be doormats.
Or that they can be assholes. Either way.
Oh, yeah, like, that too.
Well, Dad's like that, and he gets away with it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want that either. I want them to look at us and be like, God, they're fucking disgusting. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they're just always, like, flirty or what the fuck. Like, that's the image I want my kids to have.
Yes.
Not graphically, but
yeah.
Where they see that we went through a lot of shit, but we're more in love with each other now than we ever have been.
Yes.
That's what I want them to take out of it.
Yes.
That Mom learned how to stand up for herself against Dad, and Dad learned how to back the fuck down because he realized he was an asshole.
And I was also talking to my therapist about that as well, about the conversations we've had with the kids about, hey, let me have it.
And we've done it with...
We are so...
Sort of done it with all 4, but 3 of them very directly. Like, Logan's still not...
Yes, but
completely
they know...
grasped it yet.
But he also knows that anything that comes up later...
Anything that bothers him in his little fucking head, he's just like, well, and like, he doesn't give a fuck. The other 3 were worried about upsetting us. He has never been worried about fucking upsetting us.
He does, but doesn't.
He worries about that in, like, school and shit. He doesn't worry about it personally day to day.
Because he still says things like, I'm not trying to be rude, but... So he still...
Yeah, but the other 3 in those moments wouldn't have said anything.
That's fair.
Because they were scared.
That's fair.
He's not scared of shit.
Fair. That's fair.
And for better or for worse, who knows, but I think that's a good thing. That he saw everything that his elder siblings went through, and he's still not afraid to be like, well, actually...
me.
It irritates the fuck out of me. But
That's
I'd rather that because
that was the
that
goal.
reminds me more of Kaylee now
because
as opposed to Kaylee whenever she was little.
that's supposed to be our goal then.
To have them comfortable enough where they could talk back.
Because they're...
And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but...
Because it's not talking back.
They don't disrespect.
Yes.
He knows better than to disrespect because he knows that fucking backhand will come out.
It'll come out of retirement.
Sometimes he fucking tiptoes across the line a little bit, but he immediately brings it back like, nope, not doing that.
Nope.
I'm going to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in my room. Like, you're smart, kid.
That sounds like a grand old idea.
Because Chris was a little bit of a line stepper, but he had too much fear in him.
Yeah. And that's...
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Because that wasn't the goal. The goal was to do things differently, and we thought we were doing things
it was
differently.
the goal at the time because I thought that fear equated to respect because that's how I was brought up.
Same.
And I didn't know a different way. And that's why I thought that video yesterday was funny as shit. That comedian, I don't even remember what his name was, but who the hell wants to be the oldest child? Like, you don't want to be...
Right.
You don't want to be on an airplane and it's his first flight. Like,
you don't want him to be on a pilot's first flight.
Yeah. And it just like, that analogy makes so much fucking sense, especially as an eldest child.
Yeah.
Because she didn't know how to fucking parent.
And we thought, well, we tried to do things at least a little bit differently, but it wasn't
a little
enough.
bit, but it wasn't
to
enough. The level that it should have been.
Right.
We were still holding on to that archaic mindset. Mm-hmm. And it did not work. And once we evolved a little bit more, it was like, we were fucking that up too.
But it's hard to emotionally regulate in some of those moments where it's like...
Oh, I fucking know. I get irritated with that motherfucker all the fucking time.
I know.
But I know why I get irritated, because he reminds me of me. Because I'm the shit talker. I'm the one that's like, well, actually, he does it, actually, but...
The thing is...
He does it to be a dick.
Yes. And I think...
I'm a dick by proxy.
And the thing is that since I wasn't allowed to act any kind of way, but...
I think that's why I'm the way I am now, because I wasn't allowed to act like that. So as I got older, that just became my personality, because fuck you.
So I struggle with that. I struggle with that personally because I know that with Logan, it's been, I feel like I have to
micromanage him.
Yeah, because he is just a very exuberant child. He's just very...
He's extra. He's extra as fuck. And I don't mean that in necessarily a negative way.
No. He's just zesty. Full of life.
But he also needs to know when to rein it in and be like, okay, we need to chill and focus.
There's time and place.
Yeah. That's the part that we're working on with him.
When to shut your mouth.
And he's been doing better about that, in
really
all
has.
fairness.
He really
because
has.
the way he acted at Sis and Aaron's, the way he was with Chris, like, he's starting to get it. That's just age, too. Like, he's calming down because we keep having these conversations with him.
Yeah, that and just statistically speaking, or psychologically speaking, kids act worse for their parents.
Oh no!
Or they
yeah,
should.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Because
if they're acting out outside, that means that their parents are being way too stringent, and they're not allowed to be themselves at home.
Right.
So they act out outside of the house.
Right.
He acts out here, and then he's pretty much calm everywhere else.
Yeah.
Well, his version of calm. He's still him, and he's 11, so he's a dude at 11.
Yeah.
And Chris was way more fucking hyper at one point.
I think it was when he was younger, though.
Well, okay, hyper's not the... He was way more aggressive whenever he was younger.
Oh, yeah.
Which is surprising now, knowing his personality, and he's just like, yeah, man, whatever. And I'm thankful for that, because he calmed the fuck down, and it gives me hope for that one.
There was a lot of anger that he had.
And he's figured out a way to deal with it, and now he's just kind of fucking easygoing.
Yeah.
Like, he talks shit, but it's the
course.
family he was raised in. Between me and Gabriel, he had no chance of not being a shit talker.
That's fair.
None of them do.
That's fair. I just, I don't know. I worry about all the kids, but I hope that even though we have not been perfect, and we're going to make mistakes going forward, we're just because we've done...
Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm
Yeah.
above mistakes or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's what I've always told you. I find new and creative ways to fuck up. I try not to make the same mistakes over and over again. The only time that bit me in the ass is whenever it came to women, because that train just kept running me the fuck over. But you know my history. Mm-hmm. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not.
Okay. And the drinking, I always knew it was a problem.
You just chose not to stop.
But I wanted to. I just didn't know how. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the chick thing, that was like, no, there's no problem here.
No.
That was me in the throes of addiction. We're just like, this isn't a problem. This is fun. The alcoholism, I knew I was fucking up from a young age. This is what we do to cope. This is what our generation does.
Yeah.
We drink until we forget, and then we remember, and then it gets violent. How many times have you seen that? Not just with me.
So many.
With everybody.
With so
everybody
many
that we've
people.
known. Oh, it's either violence or over emotion.
Yep.
One way or the other, the shit's coming out.
Yep.
And violence is the over emotion too, so it's all part and parcel.
God, I don't miss drinking at all. Like, at all. Like, I can feel, like, that muscle memory of feeling, of that getting drunk and, like, how, like, and then being drunk. Like,
Nothing terrifies me more than that thought. Because even the few times that I've had, like, a drink here and there, it just... I mean, I think the majority of them I broke down in tears because I was so scared of it going back that way.
yeah.
Because I know how slippery the slope is for me. And luckily, there hasn't, since the day I quit drinking, there hasn't been that moment anymore. Where I'm trying to burn it the fuck down and unleashing everything that I've ever had for anybody.
Yeah. It's been a long time since you've done that. And it's been over... And it's been over a year since I've gotten drunk.
It's well over a year.
Year.
Because I thought that was Gabriel's 38th. I'm almost positive. Oh, maybe it was 39.
I thought it was last year.
Well, it's still well over a year.
Oh, yeah. Almost a year and a half.
It's closer to 2 now.
Year and a half. Yeah. Because that was in May of last year.
Was it, or was it 38? I don't remember.
I think it was last year.
Regardless.
But even before then, that was the one time I got drunk in the past, how many years?
Well, even before that, like, you weren't the drinker. Like, you drank and you partied with the rest of us, but it wasn't like me. Mm-mm. Like, it wasn't the same thing, I don't think.
I don't know.
Well, I know it wasn't the same thing.
Yeah, no.
Because you had other vices.
I do. Or did. I
don't miss that feeling. I don't miss that groggy, disorientated disoriented feeling. Like, I don't miss the hangovers. The hangovers were the biggest fucking bitch of it all. Because I think that's how people end up alcoholics and not realizing it. Because whenever you're young, it doesn't matter. You can fucking pound them, get up, do your shit, like, just go about your day. So you get lulled into that false sense of security thinking it's going to be like that forever. And then by the time hangovers start hitting, whenever you get older, it's too late. And you still have to do the same thing, and you just know you're going to wake up feeling like shit. Then it just...
And then to get into the severe alcoholism, then hair of the dog.
Even at my worst, there was very few times I did that. Very few, luckily. Because if I had gotten on that train, it'd have been a whole different kind of fucking worms. Because mine was once the sun went down. That was, like, in my mind. As long as the sun's down, that means I'm okay. And I'm not going overboard, which was bullshit. But that's how I justified it in my mind. Because I never even liked day drinking. Like, even if we went to the lake one time, and I ended up having a 20-pack by myself. Because I was just sitting there. Because you know how I am with fucking big bodies of water. It freaks me the fuck out.
Yes.
Like, pools I can deal with, it's fine. But I can't do big bodies of water. Yes. So I sat on the beach, just fucking... And next thing I know, my 20-pack was gone. And it was probably about 2 or 3 whenever I realized that. And then I started drinking off of everybody else's. So I know for sure I had 20, but I don't know how many I had. And I was 19 at the time.
That was like the time I floated the river. The last time I floated the river ever. It was August of 2008. So it was right before I met you.
Is that when you broke your... Oh, no, that was later. Because you broke your camera after that.
That was my mother.
I understand
in
that.
Oklahoma, yeah.
But that wasn't...
Oh, yeah, no.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I was putting the two together.
Yeah, that was the last time I floated the river. So it was like August of 2008. So right before I met you for the first time. God, I drank no water. I drank nothing but beer that day. I sat in the sun.
It's mostly water.
That's fair. It was Bud Light. At least it wasn't...
I used to love that shit too.
Same. Hey, at least it wasn't Coors Light. Ha ha ha. I was so dehydrated. I had blisters. I missed work for 3 days. I was sick.
Because you had like sun poisoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had, I didn't go to a doctor because.
Obviously.
Who does that?
I was floating the river. I know what the fuck's wrong.
But I don't know what actually was wrong, and I don't know what damage I actually did to myself.
I think, I'm not positive, don't quote me on this, I'm not a doctor, but I think it's a vitamin D overdose.
But it was to the point where I couldn't vomit.
Hmm. You didn't have anything to vomit.
And I didn't pee. Like, that's how dehydrated.
That's how violently dehydrated you were.
It was so bad. I never want to do that again.
See, that's where the tricks that we know now would have come in handy. You're like, oh shit, I'll just go grab some Pedialyte.
Yeah.
And now we do it because, I just want to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
It's not to cure a hangover or any shit like that. It's let's stay hydrated today.
Which I need to get.
I know. I need
sidetrack, like side quest. I need to get back on my hydration game because I need to be able to work on my mobility. And doing this, it's click.
Well, mine does that too, and I'm usually more hydrated than you are.
Yeah, but my mobility is
yeah, but you also need to stretch and shit like that on a regular basis.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, but in order for my muscles to be able to loosen one day, I need to have them hydrated. So, but yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I don't miss drinking. I don't miss solving problems with substances. I don't miss that shit.
Okay, see, you can't frame it that way. We weren't solving shit.
Okay, correct.
We were displacing shit.
Correct.
We're like, well, if I drink, I
Solving.
don't feel it. No, that's not how the fuck it works. You don't feel it for a little bit because you're focused on the fun part of it.
Yeah.
Once the fun part wears off, it comes the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because you can't maintain that perfect homeostasis with that happy drunk. It either starts falling back off and you start going back into normal life, or it ramps up and then everything comes the fuck out.
Yep.
Sometimes literally.
Yep. I just,
And I like how nobody looks at throwing up from alcohol as alcohol poisoning.
Alcohol is a poison.
To begin with. Like,
yes.
You're killing your brain. That's why it feels so fun. And it's like whenever Deadpool got stabbed in the head with the fucking... He's just all loopy and shit. It's the same principle.
Yeah.
You're suffocating your brain.
Yeah. You're killing... Yes, it's all poison. So...
I don't know how this turned into a sobriety episode.
I don't know. Well, because we started talking about being the responsible ones.
Oh.
And it's all...
Part and parcel.
All part and parcel. I just...
Because I don't miss it. Like, weed doesn't do the same shit to me. Mm-mm. It's mellow. It's calm. I can have really fun conversations with you and with the kids. Mm-hmm. I'm more engaging. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not stuck in my head.
Right.
Everything just kind of slows down and chills out.
So you can actually breathe.
So I can enjoy that fucking time.
Yes.
And I know that's what a lot of people think about alcohol, but the negative effects far outweigh that. And weed, you stay like that. Mm-hmm. As long as you're not over-serving yourself, you're in that fucking green, no pun intended, that green area, and you're golden the entire time. You know, there's no fluctuation to that. If you know what you take, you use it as a medicine, I'm going to take X amount because it does Y to me.
Well, that and it's...
If you do it that way.
Not a poison. Alcohol is a literal legal poison. So... It's not apples to apples. I don't think the comparison, or it deserves to be compared with alcohol.
It's not even a fucking question to me anymore, because I was scared of it for a long time too, because I would spiral out of control because I wasn't monitoring and regulating what I was doing. Well, now it's easy to do that because, one, I don't smoke it anymore, because that's a fucking crapshoot. You can have the exact same strain, the exact same amount, and it hits you completely different on 2 different fucking days.
Right.
But with this, it's a science. It's measured out. In my case, 5 milligrams a fucking gummy, and I know exactly how I'm going to feel from that.
Yeah.
And I know if I take one more, I know where I'm going to be at on the line.
Right. It's just, I don't know. I just think that...
But would I have figured that out if I hadn't gotten sober off of alcohol? Because essentially I do the same thing with alcohol. I know one beer is not going to do anything to me. I can have a beer, chill, like whenever we've been hanging out with Gabriel and Mandy or some shit, and I have a beer, I'm fine.
Right.
Or on the holidays, whenever we've celebrated, take a shot. That shot ain't going to do fucking shit to me.
Right.
It's whenever I keep going. The second shot will start affecting me, but I'll be telling myself that it doesn't affect me. The third one, I'm starting to feel it, but I'm still lying to myself and saying, that's fine, I'm good.
Yeah, and then you're 7 in, and you're like...
Am I doing fucking cartwheels? Because it feels like I'm doing fucking cartwheels.
Okay.
Of course, we also drank the worst fucking liquor known to man, but...
Everyone hates on Jaeger.
And I did too. While I was drinking it, I hated it. I was like, this is fucking dog shit. I was like, but it gets the job done effectively. And that's what I would tell everybody. And I didn't see a problem with that.
It happens. It happens. I don't know. At the end of the day, I would rather be this boring, responsible.
I want to be a boring pothead that fucking reads books and plays video games at night.
That's all.
Or
That's
watches
all I fucking
sitcoms
want.
with my kids or whatever. That's what I want.
I want.
Like, it just seems so much simpler.
Because it is.
Like, we don't have to worry about a fucking happy hour. We're like, oh, we got to go to the bar so we can hang out with everyone. Like, no, fuck that. That was hell whenever I was drinking. I fucking hated that shit.
That and the amount of drama that comes with drinking.
I think I told you, whenever I started working for this company, they were having the orientation or what the fuck ever, and they were talking about Christmas, like Christmas time. And they said, we don't do big parties. And I was just like, yeah, I agree with that because you know me, I'm not the Christmas party type whenever it comes to shit like that, whenever it comes to work specifically. And I was just like, okay, well, why? And then the dude explained it, and he was like, well, we'd rather take that money and put it either towards our philanthropic efforts or give it back to our employees. Because inevitably, whenever you have those parties, if you invite the spouses, there's always fights between the spouses. If you don't invite the spouses, then people are getting into shit with coworkers. And he didn't specify what. We all know what that means.
I mean,
because
somebody's getting
the
drunk.
libations are going, and a little bit of flirting starts happening, and then
you're fucking your coworkers.
And it just, like, the way he put it is like, yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense. And how many stories have you heard? Oh, so-and-so got so fucked up at the Christmas party. Did you see how they made an ass of themselves? I heard that, like, it's always fucking drama.
And you don't want to be that person. But you want to hear about that person.
I didn't.
You didn't want to hear about that person?
That's all I'm going to say.
You'll have to refresh my memory.
No, it's not refreshing your memory. It's just things that I had to deal with. It wasn't necessarily Christmas parties, but it was very much that person. I'll explain it to you later.
When alcohol was added?
Mm-hmm. And social situations. The combination of the two. Of course, I was that person too, so I can't really fucking
throw
say
stones.
anything. But
I
it's one thing to be that person. It's another thing to have to hear about that person. Or see that person. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like to watch it. That's the thing that always irritated me, by the way. Whenever I was going through my bouts of sobriety throughout my drinking, and then we'd like go out and everybody else was drinking, you notice the assholes. Whenever you're drunk too, you don't notice the assholes. And then that whole thing fucked me the fuck up. Because it was people that I was cool with. And I was like, man, they're so fucking fun. Da, 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 da. And then you realize you're sober and they're not.
You're just a fucking dick.
I'm like, oh, yeah, no, you're just a garbage fucking human.
Yeah. Yeah. Life is wild. It is. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not arguing.
At the end of the day, we have to be the responsible ones because
we should all be the responsible ones.
We should all be the responsible ones, but it has been made evident that I need to mind my own fucking business, so I'm going to just talk about us. We have to be the responsible ones because things still need to get done.
No, it's the right thing to do.
Well, that too.
That's the part that we need to focus on. It's the right thing to do. Like, everything else be damned. Fair. We can provide stability. And not just for our kids, in general.
Just for...
like, emotional stability.
That's fair.
And that's how I'm choosing to focus on it now, after I was irritated whenever we started this. But it's true. It's like I can't worry about what everybody else is doing. I have to worry about what we're doing. And what we're doing is trying to be the most responsible, steady people we can be.
Right.
Not just for the kids, but for each other, for
ourselves,
the world. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's grandiose, but
no, it's not, because in my own world, the best compliment that I've ever gotten is that I am someone's safe space and that I'm an unproblematic friend. Those two things, that's what I want.
That, whenever I heard that, it filled me with pride for you. It was just like, that's fucking awesome.
Because that's what I've wanted. That's what I want to provide to the world. Someone who is non-judgmental. Someone who is dependable and non-problematic. Because life is too short. And that's who I want to be. So if that means that we're the boring, responsible ones and or whatever the case is, I would much rather be that way then. Because every night I still have you. And the people who are going to get us will get us. I don't know what our future holds. I don't know what people will be put in our path. But the ones who get it will get it. And the ones who won't will go. And I'm okay with that. And I'm comfortable with that now. So I'm okay with being the responsible ones. Because what other fucking choice do I have? I'm not kidding.
It's true.
It is true. Anyway. With that being said, do all the social media things. Go like, subscribe, share. Because that helps us. We're trying to get our word out there. That no matter what you're thinking, no matter what you're going through in life, you're not alone. You're just a person. You're a human experiencing human shit. So yeah, go do all the social media stuff and join us next time. And if you have suggestions or questions, or if you need resources, let us know. Reach out. Okay, bye. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. If you like this episode or know someone who would, please help us grow the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Keep up with all episodes on Buzzsprout or anywhere else you get your podcasts.